When finishing a basement with a drop-in tile ceiling, proper wiring techniques are crucial for safety and code compliance. It is generally not recommended to simply staple wires to the underside of the joists. Firstly, exposed wires are susceptible to damage from impacts or alterations. Secondly, stapling can compromise the wire's insulation, creating a potential fire hazard or shock risk. The preferred method involves running wires through bored holes in the joists. This provides physical protection and helps maintain a neat and organized installation. Here's a detailed guide to wiring a finished basement with a drop-in ceiling. 1. Select the appropriate cable type. Romex or NM cable is commonly used for residential wiring. It consists of insulated conductors wrapped in a non-metallic sheathing. Ensure the cable is rated for the amperage of the circuit it will serve. Common sizes include 14/2 with ground for 15 amp circuits and 12/2 with ground for 20 amp circuits. 2. Plan the wiring layout. Before drilling any holes, carefully plan the route of the wires. Consider the location of lighting fixtures, outlets, and switches. Sketching a diagram can help ensure a logical and efficient layout, minimizing wire runs and unnecessary bends. 3. Prepare the tools and materials. You will need the following tools: a drill, appropriate drill bits for wood typically ranging from 0.5 inch to 0.75 inch depending on the cable size, a wire snake or fish tape, a cable stripper, wire connectors such as wire nuts or push-in connectors, electrical tape, staples or cable clamps designed for NM cable, and a voltage tester. 4. Drilling holes in the joists. Use a drill bit that is slightly larger than the diameter of the Romex cable. Drill holes through the center of the joists, maintaining a minimum of 2 inches from the edges. Spacing the holes approximately 12 inches to 18 inches apart is generally recommended. Ensure that you are not drilling through any existing plumbing, HVAC, or other utility lines. 5. Feeding the wires through the holes. Attach the Romex cable to a wire snake or fish tape. Carefully feed the snake through the pre-drilled holes, pulling the cable along with it. Avoid kinking or damaging the cable during this process. If necessary, use multiple snakes or fish tapes for longer runs. 6. Securing the wires. Once the cable is routed through the joists, secure it using staples or cable clamps. These fasteners should be designed specifically for NM cable. Staples should be driven in carefully, ensuring that they do not penetrate the cable insulation. Cable clamps should be tightened to provide a snug fit without crushing the cable. Secure the cable every 4.5 feet horizontally and within 12 inches of an electrical box. 7. Making connections in electrical boxes. At each lighting fixture, outlet, or switch location, install an appropriately sized electrical box. Ensure that the boxes are securely mounted to the joists or framing members. Strip the ends of the Romex cable and connect the wires to the corresponding terminals on the device using wire connectors. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for the specific device being installed. 8. Grounding the circuit. Grounding is essential for electrical safety. Ensure that all electrical boxes and devices are properly grounded. Connect the ground wire from the Romex cable to the grounding screw in each box and to the grounding terminal on each device. Use a grounding wire connector, also known as a pigtail, to connect multiple ground wires together. 9. Testing the wiring. Before energizing the circuit, thoroughly test the wiring using a voltage tester. Verify that all connections are secure and that there are no shorts or ground faults. Check the voltage at each outlet and switch to ensure that it is within the proper range, typically 120 volts in residential applications. 10. Installing the drop-in ceiling. Once the wiring is complete and tested, install the drop-in ceiling tiles. The tiles will conceal the wires and provide a finished appearance to the basement. Ensure that the tiles are properly supported by the ceiling grid. Additional considerations to keep in mind. First, check local building codes. Electrical codes vary by location, so it is essential to check with your local building department to ensure compliance. Obtain any necessary permits before starting the wiring project. Second, use appropriate safety gear. Wear safety glasses, gloves, and appropriate work attire. to energize the circuit before working on any electrical wiring. Third, consider professional assistance. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, consider hiring a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is essential to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. Furthermore, wire size and ampacity. The size of the wire required depends on the amperage of the circuit. 14-gauge wire is typically used for 15-amp circuits, while 12-gauge wire is used for 20-amp circuits. Refer to the National Electrical Code, NEC, Table 310.15b16 for allowable ampacities of insulated conductors. Overcurrent protection. Each circuit must be protected by a circuit breaker or fuse of the appropriate size. The circuit breaker or fuse should be rated no higher than the ampacity of the wire. For example, a 15-amp circuit should be protected by a 15-amp circuit breaker or fuse. GFCI protection. Brownfield circuit interrupter (GFCI) protection is required in certain locations, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. GFCI outlets or circuit breakers detect ground faults and quickly interrupt the circuit to prevent electrical shock. Arc fault circuit interrupter or SI protection. A SI protection is required for most branch circuits that supply outlets or devices and dwelling units. SI circuit breakers detect arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires, and interrupt the circuit to prevent a fire. Electrical boxes. Electrical boxes must be used at all wiring connections. The boxes protect the wiring connections and provide a safe enclosure for electrical devices. Boxes must be sized appropriately for the number of wires and devices they contain. Cable routing through metal framing. If the basement has metal framing, additional considerations are needed. When running NM cable through metal studs or joists, use grommets or bushings to protect the cable from abrasion. Support the cable within 12 inches of each box and every 4.5 feet along the run. Conduit. In some cases, it may be necessary to run wires in conduit. Conduit provides additional protection for the wires and can be used in areas where the wires are exposed to physical damage. Common types of conduit include EMT, electrical metallic tubing, PVC, polyvinyl chloride, and flexible metal conduit. Low voltage wiring. If you are installing low voltage wiring for things like thermostats, doorbells, or security systems, keep it separate from the power wiring. Low voltage wiring should not be run in the same conduit or electrical boxes as power wiring. Smart home devices. When integrating smart home devices, plan for the wiring and power requirements of each device. Some smart home devices require a neutral wire connection, so make sure the wiring in the electrical boxes includes a neutral wire. Future expansion. Consider future electrical needs when planning the wiring layout. It may be wise to install extra circuits or wiring for future expansion. This can save time and money in the long run. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous. If you are unsure about any aspect of the wiring project, consult a qualified electrician. Always follow the National Electrical Code and local building codes to ensure a safe and compliant installation. Proper planning, careful execution, and adherence to safety standards are key to a successful basement wiring project. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that your finished basement is both safe and functional. It is vital to know the various types of cables. Firstly, NMB cable, non-metallic sheath cable, is the most common type used for residential wiring. It consists of two or more insulated conductors and a grounding conductor wrapped in a non-metallic sheath. Secondly, UFB cable, underground feeder cable, is designed for direct burial in the ground. It is moisture resistant and suitable for outdoor applications. Thirdly, THHN/THWN conductors are individual insulated wires used inside conduit. THHN is thermoplastic high heat resistant nylon coated, and THWN is thermoplastic heat and motor resistant nylon coated. Furthermore, understanding wire gauges is also crucial. American Wire Gauge (AWG) is a standard system for designating wire sizes. Common sizes in residential wiring include 14 gauge for 15 amp circuits, 12 gauge for 20 amp circuits, and 10 gauge for 30 amp circuits. The lower the number, the larger the wire diameter and the higher the ampacity. Understanding overcurrent protection is another key concept to grasp. Circuit breakers and fuses are overcurrent protection devices that protect electrical circuits from overload and short circuits. Circuit breakers are resettable, while fuses are single-use devices that must be replaced after blowing. The size of the circuit breaker or fuse should match the ampacity of the wire it protects. Grounding and bonding are also extremely important safety measures. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electrical shock. Bonding connects all metal parts of the electrical system to the grounding system, creating a low impedance path for fault current. The neutral wire carries the unbalanced current from the load back to the source. It is typically white or gray in color. The grounding wire provides a path for fault current and is typically green or bare copper. Connecting wires safely and securely. Wire connectors, such as wire nuts and push-in connectors, are used to join wires together. Wire nuts are twisted onto the wires, while push-in connectors use spring-loaded contacts to secure the wires. Ensure that the connectors are properly sized for the number and gauge of wires being connected. Electrical tape is used to insulate wire connections and prevent them from shorting out. Wrap electrical tape tightly around the wire connections, overlapping each layer. Working with electrical boxes and wiring methods. Electrical boxes provide a safe enclosure for wiring connections and devices. Common types of boxes include plastic boxes, metal boxes, and surface mount boxes. Wiring methods refer to how wires are routed and installed. Common wiring methods include concealed wiring, where wires are run inside walls and ceilings, and exposed wiring, where wires are run on the surface. Knowing your voltage and amperage requirements is also key. Most residential circuits are 120 volts. Some appliances, such as electric ranges and dryers, require 240 volts. The amperage of a circuit is the amount of electrical current it can carry. The amperage of a circuit should be matched to the load it will serve. When doing electrical work, it is always better to be safe than sorry. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock and fire. Always turn off the power at the circuit breaker before working on any electrical wiring. Use insulated tools and wear rubber-soled shoes. Avoid working in damp or wet conditions. Inspect electrical cords and appliances for damage before using them. Replace damaged cords and appliances promptly. Install smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in your home and test them regularly. Have your electrical system inspected by a qualified electrician every few years. By following these safety tips, you can help protect yourself and your family from electrical hazards. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work that you are not comfortable doing yourself. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to ensure that it is done safely and correctly. Adhering to these guidelines will lead to a safe and compliant electrical system in your finished basement. This ensures peace of mind and the longevity of your home's electrical infrastructure.